Hello friends, I'm CA Rohit Grover and I'm a qualified practicing CA and I'm into practice since last 7 years. So I'm a FCA by now and I'm a faculty for your subject in CA final, which is paper number 3. What is the name of the paper? Paper number 3 is known as Advanced Auditing and Professional Ethics. Okay, so the paper is Advanced Auditing and Professional Ethics, right? So this is our paper number 3. So I will give you the introduction about the paper later on. So first of all, let us understand how we are going to proceed with this particular examination, how the examination pattern is going to be, how the mark distribution is going to be, everything about the paper we need to analyze first, right? So before that, I welcome you all to the Lakshya Institute of Professional Studies. So we are launching the Google Drive classes. We are launching the Google Drive classes and pen drive classes. We are launching the Google Drive classes and pen drive classes for group 1 of CA final, in which I'll be taking and mentoring you for the subjects. First one, Advanced Auditing and Professional Ethics, and the second subject which I am going to coach you for is known as Company Law, Company and Other Economic Laws. Company and Other Economic Laws. So today we are here to make you or give you the introduction about our subject called Advanced Auditing and Professional Ethics. So let us start without wasting the time. How this paper we are going to approach. So as I told you that this is paper number 3 in your CA final. So being a paper number 3, first of all, let me make you understand what is the difference between the auditing, what we have done at the intermediate level, or we used to have IPCC level, and what is the auditing we are going to do at CA final level. So from the name itself only you can understand, at the time of intermediate, the name of the subject was auditing and assurance. So the name of the subject was auditing and assurance. So where what we have learned, what do you mean by the term called audit, right? We have understood how to plan our audit, right? Where we understood the basic concepts of audit, where we also understood what are the basic principles governing an audit. So everything about the basics of an audit we understood at our intermediate level and IPCC level about the auditing. But now when we go to the CA final level, you can see that the name of the subject itself says that it is advanced auditing. It is which auditing? Advanced auditing. So what do you mean by advanced auditing? What we have learnt at the intermediate level, now we are going to go at a which level? Advanced level. At what? At a CA final level. Are you understanding the point? So I'm not saying that subject is going to change. Subject will remain same, concepts will remain same. It is just that we are going to go a step ahead. We are going to go in a more technological manner or in a more technical manner when it comes to the CA final advanced auditing. So the name itself says that it is which auditing? Advanced auditing. So what do you mean by advanced auditing? Like in the intermediate level, we learnt some chapters called company audit, right? Company audit 1. Now in the company audit 1, what we learned, everything about the person called auditor. What are his qualifications? What are his disqualifications? What are his removal criteria, resignation criteria, how to rotate an auditor, rights, duties, everything about the auditor. Now same chapter, same concepts we have here in the name of the chapter called company audit. Now I'm not saying that it is different from intermediate level. It is same as intermediate level but in a more advanced way, right? Now then we have done some chapters called vouching and verification, and in the new syllabus of intermediate level this is known as audit of different items of what? Financial statement. So the same chapters we are having here as well in the CA final level. But in the CA final level, if I have to tell you, you can say that 30 marks of portion, 30 marks of portion of intermediate or IPC level, we are again to copy paste at our which level? CA final level. Are you getting the point? Jैसे say for example company audit, as I told you above, company audit is the same chapter which you have to do. Then we have dividend chapter, we have dividend chapter, we have Caro 2016, right or not? As we all know that we are now updated with the Caro 2020, but as per the government regulation came on I think 25th March 2020. Now they have extended 1 year for the applicability of Caro 2020. Now Caro 2020 is neither applicable for your July 2020 examinations, nor it is applicable for your your November 20 examinations. So maybe it might be applicable from May 2021, right? And moreover, along with the advanced auditing, we have so many chapters, we are having so many practical knowledge together in this advanced auditing. What is the practical knowledge? Like we'll understand how to do the audit of PSUs, right? Then we'll understand how to do the audit of banks, right? Then we'll understand how to do the audit of insurance companies, and then we'll understand how to do the audit of NBFCs. We'll understand how to do the audit of NBFCs, non-banking financing corporations, right? Then we'll also understand how to do the audit of consolidated financial statements. It means when the holding company consolidates the financial statements of all its subsidiaries, associates and joint ventures, we'll understand how to do the audit of consolidated financial statements, being an auditor of a which company? Parent company, right? So that chapter is there. Then we have some few chapters which are very technical in nature, where we'll understand everything about the peer review. We'll understand everything about the peer review. Now what do you mean by peer review? In this chapter what we are going to basically understand is how a chartered accountants should behave when they are into the practice. So when you are into the practice, when you have your own practicing unit, it is necessary for you to provide the quality assurance services. For that reason, peer review will be conducted by ICAI on you. Are you getting that? So that is why the name of the chapter is known as peer review. Why it is known as peer review? Because here you are going to be reviewed by another practicing CA. So some practicing chartered accountants will come to your practicing unit and they will do the audit of your firm. So that is known as audit of auditors. So what is another name of this chapter? We can also call it as what? Audit of auditors. I hope everyone is understanding. That is the reason I am telling you that base was created at our IPCC and intermediate level, but now we have to move ahead from that base. Now we are going to enter into the advanced level by doing some chapters in a more advanced manner, how to do the audit of PSU, banks, insurance, MGFCs. But let me tell you one thing guys, CA final advanced auditing and professional ethics, that subject is very huge. The portion is quite huge, but it is very practical in nature. It will help you in becoming more efficient and effective while doing your articleship. If you are in the industrial training, if you want to have a corporate exposure of being an auditor of corporate companies, so it will help you in doing the it helps you in getting the various expertise in this particular fields, right? So these are the various list of chapters. Along with that, there are so many other chapters, like we have forensic audit. Like say for example forensic audit. Now if you remember, we used to have on Sony television, there used to be one there is one program called CID, right? ACP Pradyuman, something like that. So you might have seen that whenever they go to any criminal site where the suicide has happened or the murder has happened, they used to collect the evidences from there and they used to send it to the forensic lab. Now in those forensic labs and those forensic line of activities, we are also going to enter into that field in the name of which audit? In the name of forensic audit. In the name of which audit? Forensic audit, right? Forensic audit we will understand about the fraud audit. Then we have due diligence chapter is there. Very important chapter, highly important chapter, due diligence chapter. Now what do you mean by due diligence chapter? Today in the introduction class, I am just trying to tell you the overview of our advanced auditing and professional ethics. So in the due diligence chapter, what we are going to understand, we'll understand that when the big companies go for the mergers, acquisitions, amalgamations and absorptions, now whatever the target company they are targeting, on that company they would like to conduct a due diligence. So for the due diligence, they appoint whom? A practicing chartered accountant to conduct the due diligence, and practicing chartered accountant will give them a report in the form of not audit report, in the form of due diligence report, and he will make sure them that yes, this is a particular company, what you are targeting is genuine, you should go for that or you should not go for that chapter. So I'm telling you, advanced auditing and professional ethics is a very practical kind of subject. Along with that, we have one chapter called investigations, which is a sister chapter. The same chapter you have in your CA final law also, under the chapter called inspections and investigation. So same chapter we have in auditing also. Apart from that, we have a very highly important chapter where we'll understand some SEBI LODR regulations. We'll understand some SEBI LODR regulations. Now, what is the full form of LODR? LODR stands for Listing Obligation and Disclosure Requirement. It means those entities which are listed in nature, they are definitely going to get through the SEBI guidelines. Along with the SEBI guidelines, they have to make sure that they are going for what? They are going for LODR regulations. So that chapter name is known as Audit Committee. What is the name of the chapter? Audit Committee and Corporate Governance. What is the name of the chapter? Audit Committee and Corporate Governance. So this is what basically the idea behind the advanced auditing part. Now this part which we have discussed so far, what we have discussed so far is going to come in your examination for 80 marks. How many marks? It is going to come in your examination for 80 marks. Now, sir, what is the remaining 20 marks of portion? Now, let us understand what is the remaining 20 marks. Now, for the 20 marks, we are going to have a very interesting topic where we'll understand CA Act 1949. What we are going to understand? CA Act 1949. Now, what is another name of CA Act 1949? It is also known as Code of Ethics. The name of the chapter is also known as Code of Ethics, and nowadays it is also known as Professional Ethics. Now, if you remember, what is the name of the subject? Let's recall. The name of the subject is Advanced Auditing and Professional Ethics. So, in that part, 70 marks are going to come from the Advanced Auditing, and remaining 80 marks are going to come from the Advanced Auditing, and 20 marks are going to come from the topic called what? Professional Ethics. Sir, what professional ethics is all about? Let me tell you one thing very clearly, guys. If you are thinking of becoming a practicing chartered accountant after getting qualified, you all know that we all have two options. Either we can opt for employment or we can opt for a practice. So if you are thinking of becoming a practicing chartered accountant, then you must do this chapter and must learn this chapter, because this chapter is all about the rules and regulations which are applicable to practicing chartered accountants. So let me give you the introduction, what we are going to actually learn it. We are going to learn CA Act. We are going to learn what? CA Act 1949. Sir, why we have to learn Chartered Accountants Act 1949? Because it governs you. We as a member of our temple called ICAI are governed by which act? We are all governed by which act? CA Act 1949. So what this act is going to give you? This act is going to give you so many things, like whom do we call member in practice? Whom do we call member in practice, right? Whom we can say the member in practice. Now, whom do we call member in practice? Then how to become a member? How to become a member? Now, in the member, who is called ACA? Who is called Associate Chartered Accountant? And who is called what? Fellow Chartered Accountant. How do you turn yourself from Associate Chartered Accountant to a Fellow Chartered Accountant? As I already told you that I am in practice since last 7 years. So understand one thing, when you become a practicing CA and you continue your practice for 5 years or more years continuously in practice, then you turn yourself from Associate Chartered Accountant to a Fellow Chartered Accountant. So all these rules and regulations which are governing our CA world, our practicing CA world, we are going to understand in this chapter called what? Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Plus, it is also going to give you 34 clauses. So I will not use technical terms. I can easily say that these are also known as those 34 areas where a chartered accountant, where a chartered accountant, where a chartered accountant either in practice or in service. If you are in practice chartered accountant or if you are an employed chartered accountant, so there are total 34 clauses divided into schedule 1 and schedule 2, under which 4 parts are there in schedule 1, under which 3 parts are there in schedule 2. So in total there are total 7 parts of schedule 1 we have to understand. We have to understand 3 parts of schedule 2. In total we have 34 clauses to be taken care of. As a chartered accountant in practice or as a employed CA or as a chartered accountant in service, you should ensure that you should not be held any kind of professional misconduct. You should not be held for any kind of professional misconduct or any kind of other misconduct, under these 34 clauses. So these 34 clauses are those situations under which, being a practicing CA, you will be punished. Are you getting the point? This is why we need to learn this Chartered Accountant Act 1949. Now let me give you some examples. Say for example, suppose you are becoming an auditor for a new company or a new entity. Now to accept the audit of a new entity, you first need to communicate with your previous auditor. Are you getting the point? You first need to communicate with your previous auditor. So if you are not communicating with your previous auditor and you accepted the new audit assignment without communicating with the previous auditor, what will happen? Directly you will be held guilty under part 1 of schedule 1 under clause 8 of CA Act 1949. So these are the various kind of implication. 34 clauses we have to understand. Along with that, we will also understand what kind of discipline mechanism is there in our professional ethics. What do you mean by discipline mechanism? Suppose we are not providing the quality services or we are not providing the good services to our client. Now in that case, what will happen is the client may do a complaint against us with ICA. Now in the ICA there are various levels of disciplinary committees. So say for example, first level is known as discipline directorate. Now he will analyze the situation, what kind of complaint has been received against the member. After that, if he thinks that it belongs to schedule 1 complaint, he will forward it to the board of discipline. If it's a schedule 2 or both, or if it's a schedule 2 complaint, he will forward it to schedule 2, that is called disciplinary committees. After that, those particular boards will take their necessary action. So there's a huge disciplinary mechanism which is involved in CA Act 1949, which governs us as a chartered accountant in practice or chartered accountant as service. So I hope I'm justified in making you understand what this 20 marks of portion is going to be in your examination. So in total, if I have to summarize my introduction for the today, for 100 marks of portion, you are going to get 80 marks in the form of advanced auditing. You are going to get 80 marks in the form of what? Advanced auditing. Plus for the 20 marks, you are going to get what? Professional ethics. For the 20 marks, you are going to get what? Professional ethics. So remember one thing, there are 2 parts of auditing. In one, we are going to understand or going to acquire the practical knowledge of doing the various audits of various organizations, how to do the due diligence investigations, CFS audit, bank audit, insurance audit, NBFC audit, PSU audit, management audit, operational audit, internal audit, along with the standards. Obviously, along with the standards, we have standards also. So along with the chapters, we definitely have the standards, but we all know that we only have standards on auditing, which are approximately 36 in number. So there are total 36 standards we have to do, which are divided into 200 series, 300 series, 400 series, 500 series, 600 series and 700 series. So these are the various standards also we have to do. Right now, you all know that SAEs, SREs, SRS, they have been eliminated from your portion for the July 2020 examinations. And yes, this is what all about the advanced auditing part. And along with the professional ethics, I already told you we are going to cover which act? CA Act 1949. Now let's come back to the pattern now. Now how the examination is going to be? Examination we all know for 100 marks is going to come. Now how the 100 marks are going to be discussed? How the 100 marks are going to come in your examination? Out of 100 marks, we are going to get 30 marks of, you all know, we are going to get 30 marks of what? MCQs, multiple choice questions. We are going to get 30 marks of multiple choice questions. As you all know the rule of ICAI, when you write down the multiple choice questions, they will not be allowing you to take the question paper along with it, right? So you are not supposed to take the question paper along with it. So you need to return the both answer sheet, OMR sheet and question paper of MCQ back to the invigilator over there. Second thing, you are going to get 70 marks in the form of descriptive type of questions. Descriptive questions we are going to get. Sir, what kind of descriptive questions? So obviously in the 70 marks, question number 1 is going to be compulsory. Now as you all know that 70 marks means what? Now instead of 16 marks each a question, now your questions have been divided into what? 14 marks each, carrying 3 parts each. Each question will carry the 3 parts. So it can be a combination of 662, it can be a combination of 554, but every question is going to carry how many marks? 14 marks. So question number 1 will be compulsory, and out of remaining 5 questions, you need to do 4 questions which are compulsory in nature. Oh sorry, you need to attend remaining 4 questions, right or not? So 4 questions of 14 marks here, 4 questions of 14 marks here, and the first question of 14 marks makes it to what? Total 5 questions. Total 5 questions of 14 marks each, which is nothing but going to come in the form of 70 marks. So as I told you, in total 6 questions will come. First question is compulsory, and out of the remaining 5 questions you need to do 4 questions, right? So one external choice question will be there. So this is how your pattern for advanced auditing and professional ethics is going to come for the examination. So that's it for my side for this, I mean the introduction for advanced auditing and professional ethics for today. So we are in the process of making the Google Drive and pen drive classes. So from 20th June onwards, we will be in a position to launch our Google Drive and pen drive classes. We are launching it for the group 1. So thank you so much for lending your patient ears for this much of introduction of our paper number 3 called Advanced Auditing and Professional Ethics. So I'll take your leave now. Thank you so much for listening again. So that's it. So welcome you all to the Lakshya Institute of Professional Studies again, and I hope to see you all guys in future along with my Google Drive and pen drive classes. So thank you so much again. Good night and be safe all of you. Thank you.